Here's a shocker. The Argentinian president is calling for the UK to hand over the Falkland Islands, following crunch talks with Lord Cameron in Davos.
Yes, both countries have agreed to disagree over the sovereignty of the Falklands. But what do you think? Should we give the islands back? Well, so many emails coming in on this issue. There is such a strong sense of feeling on this. Jim says they never belonged to Argentina. The people there voted to remain as British. Yes. Sheila says it's up to the islanders, not us.
Well, that's a very valid point, I think. Let's talk to Falklands War veteran Simon Weston. Simon, as always, it's great to see you. I mean, I'm a little bit surprised that this is sort of even coming up for discussion now. They just won't let this go, will they?
It's very much the same old rhetoric, really. They keep banging this drum, rattling the sabre, unsettling the islanders who are trying to live in peace and just trying to get on with their lives, trying to just live and work the best way they can, like everybody else. But the Argentinians, they've got to distract everybody from the terrible financial situation that they find themselves in yet again, which was one of the main reasons of the war in the first place. They had raging inflation at about 1,000%, and they needed to distract the general populace, which is send people to war, send people abroad. You know, politicians have used that as a go-to for years. You know, if things are tough at home, go away. Well, this time they sent their people, and we ended up having to fight for something that was never theirs. You know, they never owned the islands. In 235, 240 years, they've never owned the islands. When they say they claimed the islands, they weren't even a country. They were the nation of states. They didn't even have a national flag or a parliament or a government of any sort. They had nothing. So the claim is baseless. It's just something to distract people. But there's a lot of people in Argentina that believe the islands are theirs. So it's an easy go-to just to keep ramping up that support.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Simon, it must be very popular with voters back in Argentina, because, as you say, we hear this rhetoric time and time again, don't we? How does it make you feel as a veteran of the Falkland Islands, and how does that make you feel when you think about people that you fought alongside, perhaps those that lost their lives in the Falklands, when you hear this sort of rhetoric and talking about giving the Falklands back?
Well, first and foremost, we can't give something back that never belonged to anybody. But it is very alarming that people and politicians find the weakest link. You know, they go to something that's an easy win for the people that vote for them. But we have to call into question some of the mental state of this chap. If all reports are true, the president of Argentina consults a spiritual guide who then talks to his dead dog to get advice on how to run a country. If that is the case, you know, it's quite alarming that you got somebody who's unstable like that, then claiming that they're going to take the islands or want the islands. They haven't got a military to do it. They've underfunded that for the last 40 years because of what happened with the junta when it all happened in '82. They haven't got an air force. Their navy is where we left it, at the bottom of the ocean, sadly. But at the end of the day, they can't take it by force. So what they're doing is they're going around, and it's like a school ground bully. They're getting everybody to back them up, to pick on the smallest common denominator. But they won't ever try it again, I don't think, not in my lifetime anyway, in a military force. But they will keep going to the UN, they'll keep going to things like this in Davos, they'll keep doing what they do. But all it does is it distracts people from the real blazing issues of what's going on there. For my fellow veterans, most of them will be dismayed that this is coming up yet again and it's being carried on, and people are carrying the same boring rhetoric from South America. I wish they'd just leave it alone, you know. Everybody's content there. Let it alone. There's enough war going on in the world and enough difficulties in the world. We don't need any other lunatic adding to it.
Very well said. Simon Weston, it's a pleasure to see you, as always. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.